Hey guys, it's Wednesday. Alright, so the topic for today is going to be a little bit more on the serious side, but I'm going to try not to make it really depressing. We are going to be talking about dysphoria, so if that's triggering, you can keep that in mind. The way I deal with the dysphoria, which is specifically what the topic is about today, I guess it's sort of about being body positive for me. There are certain things that I have come to understand I'm not going to be able to change about my body, even if I get surgery and take hormones. And that is one, my height. I'm pushing 5'2.5", but realistically 5'2". And that's not going to change, barring potentially extreme things that I can't even think about. So I'm going to be 5'2", no matter what I do. Maybe 5'5" if I, get stacked heels or like those things that you put in shoes to make you taller while you're wearing regular shoes, which I do. I'm kind of interested in getting those. But essentially, I'm going to be short. That's what I'm getting at. I'm going to be a short guy no matter what I do. I have a very feminine body. And I'm not just talking about breastises. I've got very curvy legs. I've got a very curvy waist. And yes, if I took hormones, that would change slightly, but I'm never going to be rail thin. I'm going to have womanly legs, probably, and an overall very womanly figure. So I'd love to get top surgery. That's something that I actually have a little bit of control over changing. And so when I get really dysphoric, I have to remind myself that the thing that I can change is that. And if I focus on that, suddenly the problem doesn't seem as insurmountable. Well, when I realize, yes, it really, really sucks, but when it comes down to it, I can't make myself taller. I can't probably change the way my body is shaped. However, boobs, I can work with that. It's a matter of time as opposed to possibility. I'm never going to probably be the most masculine guy. I don't know that I would have been if I was a cis guy. My brother is not the most masculine looking guy. My parents, my mom is very feminine. My dad is not a huge, muscly, hairy man. I was not going to ever be a bodybuilding type guy. That's not the way that my body is designed. It's not the way anybody in my family's body is designed. So I keep telling myself, even if I would have been a cis guy, that's not a realistic expectation, nor is it something I would want. I don't find that my masculinity is dependent on my clothing. I don't think it's dependent on my personality. I think it is dependent on whether or not I want to have boobs and what I want below the belt. I don't want boobs. I happen to want a penis. Those things are what make me masculine in my mind. It's not so much what I look like, barring those things, and what I act like, what I dress like, and my interests. A lot of trans guys that I've either met or who I watch on YouTube are very masculine, almost hyper masculine. And I just want to say that as far as dealing with dysphoria is concerned, if you are not interested in sports, if you are not interested in bodybuilding, that does not make you any less of a man. It does not make your masculinity any less valid, in my opinion, because there are a lot of cis guys who are not interested in bodybuilding. There are a lot of cis guys who are not interested in cars or in sports or in roughhousing. There are a lot of guys who are interested in things that I was interested in growing up. I liked Barbies. I did. I loved that. I played with them with my brother all the time. I always liked clothes. I still really like clothes. I like makeup. I like fashion. I like music. I like pop culture. Do any of those things make me any less of a guy? No. There are plenty of cis guys who are interested in that. And one of the things that really sort of is sad to me about the FTM part of the trans community is that I feel like there's this unrealistic sort of feeling of obligation to being interested in things that are considered in society to be very masculine in order to help you pass. And I think that would be very sad if a person who really is trans or who really does want to transition if that deterred them from doing that because they felt like they would have to change so much about their personality and fundamentally what it means to be them beyond just their physical being, that's sad. And I think part of the reason why I always felt horribly dysphoric is because for a really long time I felt like, God, I don't measure up to that. I'm short, I have curves, I like clothes, I like makeup, I like music, and I like boys. Am I just being a trans trender? No, I am not. I'm just not interested in those things. And so I guess my message is try to be body positive. Think of it in terms of like, what does your body actually look like? For real, what does it look like? Not what do you want it to look like? What does your body look like? Now think of that body without boobs and with a penis, and that's what you look like as a guy. Plus T, if you take that. That's a realistic expectation of what you can be. And there are a lot of guys who are really, really good-looking trans guys, you know? They've got really nice bodies, they've worked really hard. They happen to have the genes that allow them to do that, and T has given them the chance to develop that kind of body that were they a cis guy, they could have gotten. I don't want to say easier, because it's still a lot of work to get abs and really nice muscles, but that they would have naturally been able to get without having injected hormones. I'm never going to have a body that looks like that. Hormones or no hormones. My brother works out a lot. He can't really get abs. Maybe he's not doing it right, but he's not gotten abs, and I know he's trying. A lot of my dysphoria was displaced because I was getting confused between being actually dysphoric and just having low self-esteem. And they're not the same thing. I think that they can be interconnected, but as soon as I was able to differentiate between the two, I was much happier. But as soon as I took away the unrealistic expectation for what I thought I should be looking like and should be doing and acting like, I felt a lot less dysphoric. And I think that's a very significant thing, at least for me it was. So I guess the bottom line of what I'm trying to say in this video, and I'm sorry I got a little angry. I'm not really that angry, but I guess scrolling through that tag on Tumblr does kind of get to me after a while because I feel like there are a lot of people who are very judgy about this, and I don't like that. But I guess the bottom line of what I'm trying to say is, if you're feeling horribly dysphoric, take that opportunity to sit down and evaluate and really like sort of hash out what it is that's the stem of the core of your dysphoria. For me, the core of my dysphoria is my breasts. The core of my self-esteem issues is the way my body looks. And they're different issues, and I had to tackle them differently. I'm 5'2". That's the way that is. It's sad, it sucks, I don't like being short, but I am, and I can either make myself really miserable about it, when I can't do anything about it, or I can put all the energy that I was putting into being unhappy about being short into like focusing on figuring out when I'm going to be able to get top surgery, which is something I can control, and I do have the power to deal with on my own. So just try to be body positive and see if that doesn't help with your dysphoria, because I feel like they're very much interconnected, and I think it's very helpful to be happy with who you are and realize that there are some things that you can change and some things that you can't. And I hope that that's helpful, and I will see you guys next Wednesday.